All right, so let's get started. Did all of you guys see me speak at the Big Think conference in Opryland? All right, before we get started, what I'm going to be covering today with you guys is very important. I'm going to be breaking down a lot about what I wrote in this book, Millionaire. And I think most of you guys got the book, and thank you for taking action on that. But I want to break it down because I think what a good coach does is they take something complicated and they make it simple. Okay, like when you think about growing an OPTAVIA business, it may seem complicated. When you think about growing any business, it may seem complicated. When you think about doing, becoming a millionaire, multimillionaire, it may seem complicated, right? And I speak with authority because I was a high school basketball coach, guys. And my first couple of years, I made I think my first year I made $22,000. And so my first 3 or 4 years, my salary was like $22,000 to $25,000. Okay, I had a little 2-bedroom condo. I loved it, by the way. Absolutely loved it. I loved every second of coaching those kids. I had no desire. I want you to know, I had no desire to coach adults. My desire was to win a championship at that school with those girls and go to college and be a college basketball coach. That was my dream, right? And if you would have came to me when I was 25 years old or 26 or 27 and said, hey, Coach Burt, you're a level 10 person, but you're in a level 4 opportunity, I would have looked at you and said, what? If you would have came to me and said, Coach, you could be making $100,000 a year, let alone $100,000 a month. Like if you would have come to me, I'd have said, well, why in the world would I need that? Like I'm happy. like I'm good, right? I got my little 2-bedroom condo. I'm living a good life. I'm coaching these kids. I love it. Okay. And then as I begin to this book really goes back to, then I had kind of an awakening. And the awakening, the aha moment or the big revelation I had was when I wrote my first book, Changing Lives Through Coaching, and I started speaking on that book. And when I began speaking on that book, what I found out was that people would compensate me at a much higher level. People would pay me at a much higher level for the very talent that I had cultivated when I was coaching. And I didn't even know it. Okay, I was totally unaware of this. And so what I'm going to help you do today is really think about finding a primary skill. Some people call it unique ability. When I look at the people who are doing well in OPTAVIA, whether it be Doug and Tia Wood, or whether it be, the people that you're on their team with, I begin asking myself a real simple question. What is the primary skill they have? Okay. Is it communication? Is it the ability to disarm people that are suspicious? Is it the ability to get people to look at something? Is it the ability to take something complicated and make it simple? Like when you really start thinking about the people who earn the most income in our society, it's people who have very defined skills. Okay. We always think of athletes, entertainers. Like if you've ever gone to a concert and watched an entertainer, you see them in their element and you're paying $200-300 to watch them work. Okay. And it's because they have a primary skill. They have a talent and they are using that talent to distribute it to the world. Well, building your OPTAVIA business is no different. You first have to find out, do an inventory of what is it that I have that I can bring to other people. Okay. And in the book, I talk about a primary skill, right? Like I go into talking about Zuckerberg's primary skill was not leading Facebook. It was coding, right? When you look at Bill Gates' primary skill when he first started was coding. It wasn't leading a company. Like he has a primary skill set. Okay. And now most people don't know what their primary skill is. And I want you to think of it like this. Your primary skill is some unique ability. It was given to you most likely at birth. Okay. I'm a faith-based person. So I say it was manufactured in you by the manufacturer. Okay. Okay. It's a talent. Okay. It's a gift. And typically that gift is found, refined, meaning it's activated, right? That's the prey drive. It's activated. It is utilized over a long cycle of time until you become very, very good at this one thing. Now, how do you know what that is? It's a combination of what you feel you're good at, what you feel you get energy from, meaning you could do it forever. Like it does, like when I coach people, I could coach for 18 straight hours because I love doing it. Okay. So when you think it doesn't drain my energy, although I can go home exhausted, I still feel good because it's like, hey, I love doing it. My wife has the gift of two gifts. She has the gift of hospitality, meaning she knows how to make people feel comfortable. She knows how to take care of people. She also has an eye for redesigning something. So she can take a piece of real estate that we own, take it from a lower value to a higher value because of her design. Now, here's how I know it's a gift of hers. The world, when they see what she does, goes, hey, this is good. Like, will you do this for me? And also, she can get on that Pinterest and look at things for hours and study it. Now, where she struggles is monetizing that gift. She don't know how to make money with it. Like, she knows how to do it. So what I did, okay, is I said, why don't we include your gift in our business? Why don't you handle all the hospitality for our retreats? Why don't we purchase real estate that we can do retreats at to build our coaching business? And why don't you redesign the properties we buy? Why don't you take them from a low grade? Now we're using my talent, my primary skill, which is coaching, and we're using her primary skill, which is the gift of hospitality and redesigning, and we're putting those skills together into one business that produces money. Everybody see that? Now, my wife, we're about to release a division of our company called Monster Health, and my wife is very passionate about leading that division and handling the OPTAVIA side of our business. Does that make sense? Okay, and she's pregnant right now. We're about to have a baby boy here in May 28th, and she was terrified that I was going to be on the road when she had that baby. So she went to the doctor and she said, I'm so scared that my husband is going to be speaking somewhere in the world. And the doctor said, we can solve that problem. You're going to have it on May 28th. Okay. and your husband's going to be there. Okay. Because he's off those 3 days. But once we get through this, our goal is to open a health division of our company, and that'd be Monster Health. And that'd be the OPTAVIA. OPTAVIA is really, that's the front door to OPTAVIA. And she's very passionate about wanting to lead that and coaching people because she's went through transformation in her life and she wants to coach other people. So I think it'll be a good mix because I'll be out talking about it. I'll say, this is what helped me get to a higher level. This is what helped me get in the shape I've gotten into with this plan. And my wife's going to be your coach. You see what I'm saying? Now, my point is, on this single digit millionaire, all I have to teach you is what I've gone through personally. And so what I went through to get to where I am today, especially financially, is I spent really 16 years refining one skill, and that was coaching people through the whole person theory. Okay. If I had you write down right now, what do you think your primary skill is? I want you to take a second right now, and I want you to write down or think about what your number one skill is. And I want to give you some examples. Is it connecting to people? Is it making people feel comfortable? Is it taking something complicated and making it simple? Is it getting people excited about something? Is it using your experiences to share a story with other people that opens their mind to something? Like, the very first step of this process, in my personal opinion, is finding the primary skill. And in the book, it's chapter 1, the development of a hard skill that can be leveraged. Okay. So I'm gonna let you write that down. And then if you know what it is, I'm gonna call on some people and see what they think about it. All right. Now, raise your hand if you believe that you know what your primary hard skill is. Now, I went to college for 9 years to pursue 3 degrees, and I did not have one class in finding this skill, which is such a shame, right? Like, I'm a big believer in, you don't have to find, like, I know a lot of people teach you find your why. Once you find your why, you're going to find your purpose. Once you find your purpose, you're going to go and do something big in the world. I actually believe, from coaching thousands of people, that many times we find our purpose by taking action, meaning we pursue something. I bet many of you had no idea you wanted to be an OPTAVIA coach until you until you went through the process of OPTAVIA. You transform your life. Then you're like, oh, I want to help other people. And matter of fact, I enjoy helping other people. Like it probably never even crossed your mind that this could be something, right? It only crossed your mind when you started doing what? When you started doing it, when you started helping people, when you started seeing transformation. So raise your hand if you think you know what your primary hard skill is. Anybody? All right, Kevin Ryan. All right, I'm going to unmute you, Kevin. And if you want to unmute yourself too, let's see. I'm trying to unmute you. If your microphone's working, Kevin, tell us what you think your primary skill is.
I would have to say that I'm a good listener. A lot of people come to me for advice and basically spill their heart to me.
Okay. Now, all right, let's go a little bit deeper, because here's what I want you thinking. I want you thinking this is a very specific skill. Okay. Like if I was telling you mine, I would actually not say coach, just coaching. I would say coaching people through the whole person theory, body, mind, heart, and spirit, taking complicated things and making them simple. Like these are actions. I want you to hear what I'm saying. I'm action. Listening is an action. So you listen, and then, and so why do you think people spill their guts to you?
Ever since when I was even in the military back then, I was like the counselor for people. If they had a problem, they always came to me. I was a medic in the Army, and they would always come to me and tell me, like, this is happening to me or that is happening to me. And I would just sit there and listen to them, try to give them some advice, what I felt, kind of thing, how they should solve the problem. So I don't, it's just always been like that.
Okay. Now, notice what he just said. It's always been like that, which means it's most likely a birthday gift, right? Like he may have had this, he had this when he was a kid, when he was young. Now, here's my question to you. How do you monetize? Because this is where my wife struggles. She's got these gifts, but she don't know how to monetize them. And what I said is, you ought to be redesigning other people's properties. You should be teaching other people how to do hospitality. You should be, right? So then she wrote her book, Living with the Monster. That's one of the ways that she's monetized it, because she wrote her own book. And but how do you monetize the skill of listening? How do you take that and turn it into money? Because here's what I would tell you guys. A lot of people don't want to talk about money. Okay. How important is money right now during this crisis? See, now we're seeing the importance of money that nobody wants to talk about. In my coaching programs, I'm like, look, we're not after just money, but we need money. We need money to expand. We need money to grow. We need money to market. We need money to do these things, because we have a mission. Where there's no profit, there's no mission. Even a nonprofit that has no money has no mission, because they can't push their mission without the money. So we're seeing the importance of there's a business side to this. We help people. They exchange money for our help, right? Okay. Each month when I purchase the OPTAVIA stuff, or my wife purchases it, and it comes to our house, that's solving a problem for me, because I got food to eat during the day. I don't have to go get it. It's there. It comes in to me. It's all, right. So that solves a problem, solves a time problem for me, right? Solves me going to the grocery store problem for me. So Kevin, how do you take that hard skill of listening and turn it into monetization?
I never have.
Okay.
I've always said I should have been like a psychologist or something.
Okay. Well, could you?
But I've never even thought about monetizing it, honestly.
Could a good OPTAVIA coach be a psychologist? Yes or no?
I would think so. Yes, that's one of our primary skill sets. I would think, is being a good listener.
See, it's like the teacher who tells me all I can do is teach, so I never do anything else. And I would tell the teachers, I'm like, look, in a given day, you're a motivator, you're a psychologist, you're a conflict resolution person. Like in a given day, you're doing all these things. You just you don't recognize that you have these skills. Okay. Now, at the end of the day, the reason the top people in OPTAVIA do well is because they have a very hard skill set. They can communicate very well. They can get people excited. They can get them motivated. They can build a team. They can help people find their talent. They can articulate a message. They can keep people on track. Like there's a skill they have. That skill probably came from somewhere else, and they're bringing it. Like you may have learned that skill in the military. So I want you thinking, how do I use this skill to build demand for this skill? Okay. And when my skill is strong and I communicate it with people, what happens is I begin to the second part of becoming a single digit millionaire is I begin to build demand for this skill. That means other people want that skill. Other people are interested in that skill. We're starting to build a little network of people. Now, everything big starts small. Every big OPTAVIA team started with 1 or 2 people. You understand that, right? I mean,
Yes.
even the Bible teaches us, do not despise small beginnings. The largest contract I ever signed, guys, only 2 people showed up. It'd be like me having an OPTAVIA meeting and 2 people showing up and me going, no, let's not do it. Let's cancel it. No. I gave those 2 people everything I had. And because of that, I signed almost a $500,000 contract from that one meeting. Now, my point to you is, what if I'd have got in there and didn't have anything to say? What if I would have canceled it? What if I'd have been discouraged? What if I said, no, I only want to do big events? See, this is the mindset. There's not proper expectation of people. So, all right. So, Manfred, I'm going to come to you, and then I'm going to come back to you, Floyd.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. All right.
Awesome.
What do you think your primary skill is? I want everybody on the call thinking a primary skill is very specific. It's not vague, like I'm a good people person. I want to know specifically, okay, what makes you a good people person? Like I can connect to people, right? I smile, I disarm people through connection. I can get people on the phone. I can be intense and positive. Like that's the traits I have. That helps me push my message to the market. All right. So Manfred, what do you got?
Sure. I think I have I think I do well connecting with people as well. I used to be like yourself in terms of coaching kids and all that, but I realized that time, the way I connect with people and my motivation skills, just being able to connect and making people smile, being an entertainer.
Okay.
I know Michelle's on the call, so hopefully she agrees to what I say. But yeah, that's me, sir.
Okay, good. Now, how do we take that and turn it into a powerhouse OPTAVIA team? Because the second piece of this, see, here's what I want y'all to understand. If you don't build demand for your skill, see, you think I'm going to use the word selling. I know you guys don't use that word a lot. You use sharing and connecting, and I get that. Okay. But you think you're sharing your product but what you're really sharing is a mindset. What you're really sharing is a conviction. What you're really sharing is a way of life. What you're really sharing is a set of beliefs. Okay. It just happens to be that the product that's being distributed is the OPTAVIA product. Like when you read that Habits of Health book, is he just selling a product? Is Dr. A just selling a product? No, he's, and I've been reading that and rereading it. And what he's really sharing with you is his beliefs. And if you line up with those beliefs, you're like, man, this is good. Like, as I was reading that book, I had all these similar beliefs about my business, about my coaching business. Like, I'm highlighting and going, okay, I could use that in my coaching business, not only in this business, not only OPTAVIA side, but in this business, because we share similar beliefs. I believe in optimal living, guys. And optimal living is operating at the highest frequency possible. I believe the good Lord has given us, right, these talents, and I believe in maximizing those talents. One of the ways you maximize those talents is through the body, through the mind, through the heart, through the spirit. Mm-hmm. So when you take this concept of connecting and you say my skill is entertaining, connecting, that's going to play good when you have events. It's going to play good when disarming, because if you call me out of the blue and I didn't know you and you're trying to share this with me, if you don't have credibility and you can't make me laugh and it's not entertaining, then I may just go, man, I'm not even taking this phone call. Right? Like, you need these connections. Like, you need to be able to connect to people. You need to be able to disarm people. And if I had to say one thing that I've recognized in Doug Wood connects with me about once a week, maybe once or twice a week. And he's never trying to sell me anything. He's just connecting with me. Him and Tia have a unique ability to disarm people through connecting to them. Does everybody understand that? And when I bring them to my events and they're around my other monster producers, my other coaching program, I watch how they work around the room. They sit and talk to people. They have conversation. They connect. They don't feel like they're trying to sell people something. Everybody see where I'm going with this? And because of the connection, it allows them to go back to them. It allows them to open the door. It allows people to do discovery, meaning to talk to people about what their needs are. It allows them to, right? So to Manfred's point here, if you have the gift of connection, if you study how I create revenue, it's very simple. I initiate a conversation. I disarm people through connection. And it's very important because if I call on Terry and she's closed off to me and she's not open to what I have to say, I can't help her. But if I connect to her and Terry says, this is a good dude, he's got a good heart, he can really help me. Now her croc brain, if you study neuroscience, the brain, the front part of the brain is the croc brain. It's scared of everything. So when I call on her, she's scared. Is he going to help me? Is he going to hurt me? When I disarm her through connecting to her, this power of connection, then she relaxes, okay? Which allows me to then locate a problem she's got. I want more energy. I'd like to get in better shape. I'd like to overcome this. I got high blood pressure. I'd like to, whatever it is. I locate a problem, and then I offer her a compelling solution. I offer her a solution to that problem, okay? Now, when I got into OPTAVIA and I lost, 20 to 25 pounds, got down to my ideal weight, I had all kinds of friends that trust me who I knew have been trying to lose weight for years, okay? They've tried everything. And I simply made a phone call and I shared with them, let me tell you guys what I've been doing. Man, I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm down to my ideal weight. And let me tell you why I really particularly love this. Now, I just said it real simple. Is this something you'd be interested or not? And almost all my friends were like, yes, I'd definitely be interested. If it worked for you like that, I'm interested in it. I didn't have to go through disarming them, trying to build connection. I've already spent years doing that. They already trust me. And they know if it works for me, it could work for them. Does that make sense? So, but the power of connecting to people, especially as you're building a team or growing, is very important. So Manfred, that's important. All right. I just want you to think about how you use that to monetize it. All right, Floyd, you're up, big guy. Unmute yourself. Then we're going to move to the next point.
Well, you just covered a lot of what I was going to say. I was like, I'm able to walk into a room and I can chat with anybody and they can feel like a friend with me. Yep. And, most of the people that I've dealt with in the military and the police department, they know I'm a man of integrity and I'm a man of my word. So if I say something and the other thing they can count on is that I'm brutally honest.
Yeah. Now let me ask you a question because I want to show you something. Your past is going to help me build my future. Okay. I want everybody to understand this. Most of your unique abilities or your skill set that you're built demand for comes from your past. Okay. You were a police officer. Now, when you were a police officer, did you recognize that if you lost your composure, did it help or hurt the situation?
Well, I got to say, I'm a different type of police officer. I flew helicopters for a living.
All right. So, all right. So
when
if
you get your helicopter, I'm ready for you.
All right. So yeah. So when you think about that, what from that job of flying the helicopter, what does that help? How does that help you in OPTAVIA?
It gives me structure because you have to follow checklists, and yes. So you know what the next step is, and you plan out emergency procedures so that you are ready for whenever something happens.
Okay. Now I want to show you something. He learned a skill flying a helicopter that can help him in his OPTAVIA business. He codified it step by step. This is what we got to do. We got to do this. We got to do this. We got to do this. Now, how many of you have been coached in a process to share the OPTAVIA message? How many of you have been coached in that? Yes or no? All right. Now, if you don't follow that process, if a successful person tells you, this is exactly what I do, this is exactly what I say, this is exactly how I say it, and then you go back and you do it in a different way, they're going to sit there and go, you're not doing it the way I told you to do it, which is why it ain't working. Okay. Now you're going to say it with your voice and your language and your mannerisms. But the point is, this is a big problem. Okay. I was in a coaching program once where you had to earn $100,000 of personal income to get in the program. You had to show your tax records. And I was in a room. It was the first year I'd ever earned $100,000 of personal income. And I'm sitting in a room with other people that earn $100,000. Okay. And the room over there, which was a different room, were people that were earning $1 million a year personally. Okay. And the coach was going back and forth between the $100,000 room and the $1 million room. And so one of the people in our class in the $100,000 room raised their hand and said, I got a question. What is the difference between the people in the $1 million room and the people in the $100,000 room? And he said, oh, that's simple. He said, when I tell the people over there how to do something, they go and do it exactly the way I tell them to do it. When I tell y'all how to do something, you give me 10 reasons why it won't work. Here was what he's saying. Big time people All right. When a big time person tells you, this is how you got to say it. This is the checklist you have to follow, which is what a lot of what I heard at the Big Think, right or wrong. The people who got up on stage who are earning big income said, this is what you got to do. This is how you got to do it. Now, if you go back home and do it your way and it ain't working, it ain't their fault. It's your fault for doing it the wrong way. Everybody with me? So to Floyd's point, there's a checklist. What I'm telling you in this book, how many of you read Single Digit Millionaire already? Okay, I was going to give you bonus points. I'm giving Christine bonus points for wearing a Monster Producer shirt. Okay. Now, here's the deal. If this book, I'm showing you how I drove my net worth to about $6 million. I'm walking you step by step how I did it. Now, if you don't read the book and you don't do what I tell you to do in the book, don't come to me when you say, well, Coach Burt, I can't figure it out. Okay. Because I wrote the book to tell you how I did it, right? Now, I can't tell you how to be worth 20 million bucks because I ain't worth 20 million bucks. I can only tell you how to be a little single digit millionaire. Okay. Now, so when my buddy says, hey, how do you follow OPTAVIA plan? I say, you got to eat every X number of hours. And here's what you got to do. You got to do the 5 and 1. And he goes, eats 2 cheeseburgers and fries and gets off the plan and don't lose any weight. You can't come back to me and say, well, Coach Burt, it didn't work. Okay. If you went to the doctor, the doctor's going to shoot a vaccine in your arm, but he shot it up in the air. Okay. It ain't going to work because he didn't do it right. Okay. So what I'm trying to tell you here, to Floyd's point, is once you have this checklist, okay, the checklist you got to follow. Now, first step of being a single digit millionaire is you got to find your primary skill. This is going to be one of your homework assignments because you probably left that conference with a lot of information. That's one reason I want to do this webinar for you. You heard me speak for an hour. You may have liked my energy. You may have liked my structure, but there's more to the equation. It's not cotton candy. Okay. The people in my office today, Eric White's on here, Lakin Hibden's on here. They're on my team. They're making 80 phone calls a day. Yesterday, we made 157 phone calls from my office. To do what? Share our services, explain, present an idea, tell them how we could help them. Notice I didn't say we make 3 phone calls. We made that didn't even count my phone calls. Because you take my phone calls, we probably make close to 200 phone calls yesterday in one day out of 3 people. What are we doing? We're sharing an idea. We're saying we can help you. We're showing you what we can do. You may or may not be interested in the idea. All I can do is share it with you, right or wrong. I think for every person you share your ideas with, there'll be 16% of those people who will be interested. So I'd be interested to know how many people you talk to about OPTAVIA this week, how many people you talk to next week. Now, here's the consideration. It's not a good time to talk to people. It's not a good time. People are not moving anything. I would totally disagree with you. Here's what I would tell you. That's a consideration you got. A consideration is an internal thought that prohibits an external action. Here was a consideration I had. Oh, I'll never be a millionaire. Oh, I'll always make $50,000 a year. Oh, I'll never be as successful as that person. Oh, I could never get to the top of that. Oh, I could never. These are all considerations, guys. Big time people remove these considerations, meaning they just eliminate these thought patterns out of their life. Okay. The reason people have doubt right now, okay, the reason people have doubt right now is because they got a double vision. A double vision is where I got 2 visions. I got one vision that says, yes, I can go do it. I got one vision saying, no, I can't do it. Okay. If you study the word decide, the word decide means to kill off, to eliminate. I've made a decision. I'm going. Okay. Now you got to make a decision about your health. Are you going? Or are you not going? Are you going to build a team? Or are you not going to build a team? Are you going to get serious about this business? Or are you going to dabble with this business? You can't have a double vision and do something big. You got to starve off the doubt. Everybody see that? You got to get rid of it. Okay. All right. Second step of being a single digit millionaire is you got to understand this concept I talk about in the book, is that money changes hands when problems are solved. What you got to sell is not a product. What you got to share is a solution. Okay. Money exchanges hands when problems are solved. Okay. And I used the example when I was speaking there. If you could help me sell $1 million worth of my books and you said, Coach, if I could do it, would you give me 50%? And I'll keep $500,000 and you keep $500,000. If I'm not selling $1 million of my books, then guess what I'd say? You go for it. If you sell $1 million of my books, I'll give you 50% of it because you're solving a problem for me. Okay. You're solving a problem. Money changes hands when problems are solved. Okay. And what I like about the Habits of Health book is it talks about, here's an interesting point about insurance companies. Insurance companies will give you money to buy drugs when you're sick, but they won't give you money to buy preventative things. Now, what does that tell you, right? Instead of helping, it's like we're not talking about the real problem here. The real problem is preventative. The real problem is, it's like my doctor in Houston said, nobody on the news is telling you should be building a healthy immune system. Nobody's telling you that there's a 98.2% survival rate of this virus. Nobody's telling you that what fights off viruses is healthy bodies. That's what they ought to be telling you, but they ain't talking about that. So my point to you is, what problem do you solve? When I got a skill and my skill solves a problem for you. Okay, let's say you're low on confidence. How many of you have seen OPTAVIA help people with their confidence? Raise your hand. Absolutely, because when you feel good about your body, you feel your confidence is high. So for some people, you're not solving just the health problem, you're solving their confidence problem. Okay, and would people be willing to share money to solve a confidence problem? Yes or no? Absolutely. Absolutely. So because when you have confidence, guess what you do? You have a vim and vigor. You have an enthusiasm about life. You go attack. You want to go do things. You're vibrant. You're energetic. You're dynamic when you got energy because you're confident. Okay. So what do you really say? You're not sharing a product and a program. You're sharing confidence. Money changes hands when problems are solved. Chapter 2 in the book talks about money is exchanged. Okay, I give money when I got a problem and you show me a solution. You bring a solution to me that is compelling. There's proof of concept. There's a demonstrated capacity. Okay, now once you start doing this, once you understand what you're really, see today my people could go call and try to sell a coaching program. They can call people today and say, we got a great program. We got an online academy for $49 where you get coaching every week. But here would be a better way to say it. What if you could get Coach BURT to give you his enthusiasm and energy and mindset every single day, and it only costs you $49 a month? How valuable would it be? And I'll tell you what, I'll throw in a Monday call with Coach. Every Monday, I give you 30 minutes. You get on a call with other people, and you get coached by him. Is that worth $49 to you to have his energy, to have his mindset, to have his enthusiasm? And if it is, let's go. See what I'm saying? That's a whole lot better than saying we got a coaching program. What we're selling is a solution. Do you need more energy? Do you need more confidence? Do you need more stamina? Do you need more vim and vigor? Do you need more enthusiasm? Do you need more money? Right? Because if I could show you how to make more money, would it be valuable to you? Yes or no? When I looked at the compensation plan for OPTAVIA and I saw if we got this many people on the plan, this is how much money we could make. And I thought about how much harder it is to make money in my coaching business, to convince a person they need a coach. I'm like, well, dang, this is the best thing I've seen in a long time. Like, you're telling me I could make $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year if I just got this many people on a plan that they already need? Everybody see what I'm saying here? Like it's a whole lot easier, in my opinion, to share OPTAVIA than it is to share my business. It's a whole lot easier to I'm going to use the word sell what you're selling than sell what I'm selling, because the average American reads less than one book a year, right? They're not in self-help programs. Instead of saying training, I might as well say I'm going to strain you. Instead of train you, I'm going to strain you. Oh, Coach BURT's going to strain you real good. And you say, well, sign me up for that. Get strained every week. Now, here's my point to you guys. I don't even think you really understand what kind of gold mine you're sitting on. Because if you've been selling what I've been selling for the last 20 years, how hard it is to convince a person they need a coach, to get them to invest any money in themselves. I go around places. I could go out my city today, and if I saw people, if they were actually out, I'd say, man, that dude needs OPTAVIA. That dude needs OPTAVIA. That dude needs OPTAVIA, right? Like if you were setting my coaching program, I got 400 people in my coaching program. Half of them have no energy, no enthusiasm. They need to get their weight where they want to. They don't have any confidence. I'm sitting there going, well, that dude needs OPTAVIA right there, right? He needs my coaching and he needs OPTAVIA. So my point to you is, I see so much possibility, and maybe you think, well, this is hard. This is complicated. It ain't hard, and it ain't complicated. It's a game of numbers. I've shared my idea with 30 people. 4.8 of them are going to be interested. I share it with 350 people, 52.8 interested. Raise your hand if you ain't sharing it with enough people. Come on, all progress starts by telling the truth. All right, if we could just find the person we could kick in the butt who ain't sharing it, that person would be you, right, Michelle? Okay, so here's the point. I talk about in the book, if I've had revelation, then I have conviction, then I take action. I've had a big revelation. I've been transformed. I then have a conviction. I now take an action. The action part is what's missing for a lot of people. Like when I tell you we're making 160 calls from our office, we're not calling just to check on people. We're calling to locate a problem and offer a solution. We're following up with people 7 touches when they say they're interested. We're doing videos, text messages, phone calls, emails. Like we're working the system. Everybody understand what I'm saying with this? Okay. OPTAVIA it's a business. Okay. It's a solution to a problem. Like you got to run it like you're running a business. You got to talk to people. You got to share the message and you got to follow up and you got to get people excited and you got to get them enthusiastic. Now, what was interesting is many of you came up to me and said, I'm a teacher, or I did this for a living, or I'm doing this full time and I'm trying to get over here and do this. I get it. I was a teacher and I started speaking as my side hustle. All right. And my side hustle became my main hustle. Everybody see that? But the side hustle don't become the main hustle if you don't work the muscle enough. Okay. So let's keep working through the book. I got a primary skill. I understand that money changes hands when problems are solved. So I'm going out today trying to find problems. Is it easy to find problems in today's world? Yes or no? Of course it is. There's problems everywhere. You don't have enough confidence. You don't have enough energy. You don't have your weight where you want it to be. You don't feel good about yourself. You're not doing what you're capable of doing, man. You're not living an optimal life. Now, if I could help you with that, would you be interested? Okay. Now, chapter 4, expansion of thought. I want to put this into some simple concepts. When I've been calling people that saw me speak at the OPTAVIA event, the number one thing I've been asking people is, how many coaches do you have? How many people do you have using the product or service? Okay. And most people have a few coaches and they got a few people using the product or service. Okay. Now, what that tells me is you haven't built enough demand for your skill. Okay. I got a skill. I understand money changes hands when problems are solved. How do I build demand for that skill? Okay, how do I build demand for that skill? Well, in a traditional business, I have to market that skill. I have to market the skill. I have to build a distribution system. So look at what I've been doing this week. How many of you follow me on Instagram? Anybody? Okay, if you don't follow me on Instagram, you need to. Coach Michael BURT, because it shows you day to day what I'm doing. It shows you that I was in here working out this morning at 6 a.m. It shows you I was meeting with my team at 8:30. It shows you I'm making phone calls throughout the day. You know, I've done more webinars, more podcasts, more interviews, more Facebook Lives, more Instagrams than I've ever done in my life over the last 2 weeks. I've distributed more of my content to the world. And here's the interesting thing. We've produced probably 300 to 500 leads over the last 2 weeks, and I haven't been able to speak. All my speaking engagements are canceled. So typically I go out and speak, I get in front of you guys, I generate information, and then we call you, and then we see locate a problem, and then we say, here's a solution. Okay, well, I haven't been able to do that. So I've had to adjust and adapt. And what I'm doing is I'm distributing my skill to the world through social media, through websites, through databases, through Facebook Lives. And I'm saying I can help you guys. Now, if I like you, and I like your energy, and I like your message, I'm going to want to know what you're doing. Okay. Now, how many of you, a person has indicated interest in your product or service, but you haven't ever followed up with them enough? Right? Listen, that's why I wrote the book, $1 Million Follow-Up. Look, I can't help you until I have your attention. If I don't have your attention, then I got to keep going till I get your attention. So I message people on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, video text. I keep going. If you don't respond to me, hey, this is Coach BURT. Right? Hey, Ann, I tried to get you yesterday, but I didn't get you. Okay. So I'm calling you back today. Make sure everything's all right with you. Can you call me back today? Make sure everything's okay with you. Like I keep going. And I say things to people like one guy didn't call me back. Right. And I said, man, I'm really concerned. I've called you 4 or 5 times. I hadn't heard back from you. Just want to make sure everything's okay. And he called me back that day. I'm so sorry, Coach. I should have called you back. I'm sorry. Listen, you can't help people if you don't get their attention. And part of being this single digit millionaire is I got a skill. I understand money changes hands. I have to distribute that skill at a very high volume to the market. Okay, we could call that marketing. You could call it whatever you want. I notice you guys do a lot of before after pictures, and I'm not opposed to that. But I would coach you and counsel you that you need to be doing more than that. You need to have a point of view. You need to share a point of view. You need to have a set of beliefs that you share. You need to combo the before and after. The before and after is just one strategy. It's one tactic. Hey, look at Coach BURT before, look at him after. Okay, great. Now, if that's the only thing you post ever, then it's like, okay, the mind becomes numb to anything it's seen before. So if you notice what I do, I cut short videos. I have these short little hype videos and me in different settings, and we use those to follow up with people. Okay, we'll probably use them to follow up with you. These short little hype videos, and I have voiceovers. And what I'm doing on those voiceovers is I'm sharing my beliefs. Hey, I believe everybody needs a good coach. I believe a good coach can change your life. If I was working my OPTAVIA business, I'd be doing the exact same thing. I believe in optimal living. I believe in confidence. I believe in rights. I believe in this. I believe in this. I'm going to use different tactics to try to get your attention and distribute my message to the market. Okay, I'm not going to use the same tactic over and over because the mind becomes numb to it. Think about how many of you, if you see a real estate agent and all they do is post open houses, and all they do over and over and over, that's all they got. Got an open house? Hey, we just sold a house, and you're out there following them like, okay, great. Like, what's it do for me? When you make a post, you need to think about what it does for the person reading the post, not what it does for you. So I don't make a post unless it inspires people, unless it motivates people, unless I think it'll help a person, it'll bring them confidence, direction, energy. Like, I'm not just saying, hey, look at this person that lost 82 pounds. Because they lost 82 pounds, guess what? You could lose 82 pounds. Here's what I say. I tell a story. Okay? Now, when I first met Eric White was here. Let me tell you what he's done since then. Not only has he made more money than he's ever made in his life working with me, but his confidence is at the highest level it's ever been. There were really three things that Eric did. He got involved in personal development coaching. He got on the right eating, right on the right plan, right? And he got the right mentorship. Then he used that to go do this. And because of that, now he's producing at this level. I don't just put a picture of Eric up there before and after. Does that make everybody follow me here? And I'm telling you this out of love, okay? I love you. But I'm telling you, as a coach that coaches a lot of people, you got to learn to market your product and service better. You got to learn to tell a story versus sell a product. You got to learn to add multiple tactics here, okay? So third step, we got to build distribution, okay? Now, I'm going to end on this one, then I'll take a few questions. If I have a primary skill, which is going to be your assignment, I want you to find your primary skill. Then you're going to build demand for that skill through proper marketing, okay? I want you to think I'm an interesting person. I'm not trying to push a product or service to people. I'm going to attract people in the door. And when they come in the door, I'm going to initiate, disarm, locate a problem, offer a solution. Everybody see that? Floyd, you see my checklist? Okay, I got a checklist, man. If I talk to Tara's that you and your husband? Okay, y'all are good looking folks. Now, if I called on Tara and her husband, I'm going to initiate the phone call. I may not get her the first time. I may go 7 touches to get her attention. That's $1 million follow-up. Then I'm going to disarm. I'm going to build connection. Where do you live? What's the weather like there? What's going on? What are you doing during this period? Then I'm going to listen to her, and she's going to probably tell me what her problem is. If I ask the right question, that's called discovery in the cycle. And I'm going to discover, and I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to make a couple recommendations to you, Tara. Here's what I think based on my 25 years of experience. Here's a couple things I think you can do. Now, would you be interested in these things? If I could show you how to do this, this, and this, would you be open to it? Absolutely. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you a video of explaining my philosophy on this. I'm going to send you this to read. I'm going to send you a book in the mail. I'm going to send you this. Then I'm going to circle back to you and see, right? Because if I send her Habits of Health or any book, if I send you Single Digit Millionaire, look at how many of you got Single Digit Millionaire. You ain't even read it yet. Right? You got it. It's sitting there. It's looking at it. Hey, let me tell you something. Just by looking at it, it could help you by looking at it, but it'll really help you if you read it. Now, so then I'm going to offer her a solution. She may not be ready for that solution. Tara may say, you know what? Time is not right. I got to talk to my husband. I got to think about it. I got to sleep on it. I got to pray on it. I got to check it out. I got to do my research. I got to go online. Like when I share OPTAVIA with a lot of people say, well, let me go online. Let me go online and check it out. Let me go on and look at it. I understand. I like getting a lot of information too. When do you think you're going to be looking at it? You think you'll be looking at it later today or tomorrow? Because I want to follow back up with you while this is fresh. I believe we lose momentum when we don't make decisions. The word decision means to kill away, right? So you told me that you wanted to get optimal health. You told me you wanted more confidence. What I want to do is I'm going to follow up with you the next few days to see if you checked it out, read it, right? You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to say, well, here it is, and it's good luck to you. I'm going to keep going. So the third step is, after I work my system, after I build demand, then I'm going to build what I call structures of exchange. Now, this is a structure of exchange. And if you have a team, the more you can get people together, the more you can get them excited, the more you can give them information, the more you can, right? The more you can help them, then the more excited they're going to be, the more sales they're going to make. Okay. I get my team together every day. And if I'm not in the office, we still meet. And what I understand is a structure is like Zoom is a structure. A building is a structure. Okay. Why I own the properties I do is a structure. So once I build demand for the skill, I want to then have structures of exchange. Now that may start with 1 or 2 people. Like think about the people you're coaching right now. How often do you contact them? See, you got to quit thinking like I'm just calling them to coach them. That's good. You need to be calling them so we can spread it, so we can share the message to other people. Okay. So here's what I'd say. Christine, is this working for you? Absolutely. Christine, who else could this work for? Probably other people in your network I need to be talking to. Like if this has helped you get to a better place in your life, who else do we need to call? Who else do we need to get on a Zoom? Who else do we need to be inviting? Who else do we need to be sharing this message with? See, I'm not looking to just get Christine. I'm looking to get 6 people from Christine. Because the stats tell me for every 1 person you should get 5.7 referrals out of that 1 person. But it's not going to happen if you don't have these structures of exchange. Hey, Christine, I'm doing a webinar. I'm doing a Zoom call on Wednesday night. It's going to be incredible. Coach Burt's going to be on there. He's going to be helping you get to a higher frequency. Check it out. Then I'm going to call her on Wednesday and say, Christine, you going to be on the webinar tonight? Is there anything that's going to prohibit you from being there? Because I'm telling you, you don't want to miss this. Okay. Then after she watches the webinar, I'm going to text Christine. Christine, what'd you think? Does that sound good to you? Hey, I'm going to follow up with you tomorrow with the phone call. Let's schedule some time to talk. See, this is a part that's missing in a lot of OPTAVIA people, the relentlessness. If you don't think the top people in OPTAVIA or any program are relentless, you've lost your mind. They are relentless. Yes or no? The way they follow up, the way they push, the way they believe, the conviction they have, the way they touch people, okay, is very similar to the way that I touch people in my coaching business. If Christine indicates interest, then we're going to go 7 touches with Christine. We're going to text her, phone call, send a video, send a book, try to find a way to connect to her, try to get her attention. We're going to keep going until, right? We're not harassing her. I got a conviction. I think I can help her. Okay. I mean, you know, Doug Wood really worked on me for 2 years before I even gave OPTAVIA a chance. Okay. Doug, Eric White got on it on my team. Like it was 2 years before I even said, I'm open to it. I'll listen to what it is. I'm interested. Okay. Then I was in Mexico speaking at an event, and I told my wife, I'm like, man, I'm tired of being 191 pounds. You know, I want to be about 170. Like I'm calling Doug today, and I'm gonna get moving. Okay. But what if you hadn't been calling on me for 2 years? What if you hadn't been staying in touch with me? Now, what's the value of having me on the team? Well, I talk to thousands of people every week. You understand what I'm saying? So if you could have me on your team, would you go 2 years? Yes or no? Of course you would. But what if you didn't? See, you got to think that everybody out there could be little Coach Burts. They're everywhere. Okay. So my point is, what are you doing? How relentless? What kind of structures of exchange? How many webinars are you doing? How many podcasts are you trying to do? How many people are you talking to? How many follow-ups are you having? Where is that relentless spirit in you to try to go share this with the world if you really want to take a side hustle and turn it into a main hustle? Because if you don't have that, guys, I'm telling you, it ain't going to happen, right? Where you really start earning income is scaled. Like we have like 400 people in our coaching program. I have like 892 people on my Monday calls that are registered for my calls, 892. Okay. Now that ain't even enough. I need 18,092. Everybody see this? Okay. But guess how I got started? I got started with 6 people. I had 6 people in my coaching program that now has 400 in it. So for you got to get started on these things that I'm talking about. Okay. You got to get started. Now I'm going to take some questions on this book. You got 2 assignments. Find your primary skill and read the book Single Digit Millionaire. Okay. And many of you purchased it, and thank you. And I think I gave it to you. All you had to do was pay for the shipping, and we shipped it to you. So thank you for that. I also want to tell you, if you've ever thought about being in any type of coaching program with me, right now is the time. We have an online academy that's $49 a month. That gets you a Monday call with me. Imagine getting this kind of call every Monday. and me coaching you through these principles. Okay. It's $49 a month. If you're interested in that, Eric White is on here with us. Okay. I think Lake and Hibden is on here with us. So if you guys will post in the comments how they can reach out to you, Laken at coachburt.com, Laken at coachburt.com, and Eric at coachburt.com. Many of you have worked with them. So if you're interested in me being your coach, this is a great place to start. $49 a month. Shoot. The Monday calls alone are worth $49. Okay. So if I can get you in and get you going, and now let me tell you something, this online academy, my team trains on it every day. Imagine Coach Burt living with you. Hey, wouldn't it be great? What if every single morning I woke up and I said, let's go, Tammy, let's go. Let's get up and get rolling. I saw you stretching a minute ago, Tammy, getting yourself ready to get coached by me. Good. Now, here's my point. Imagine me in your life every day, coaching you every day. That's what you could get in that online academy. You wake up, you do a little training, you get on the Monday calls with me, boom. Next thing you know, your OPTAVIA business is exploding because you got a good coach, okay? So if you're interested in that, they've typed in how you can email them, and I'd love to help. I'd love to be your coach in some way, okay? This is a great product. My team is on it every day. My people are making more money than they've ever made in their life. Eric White, who's on my team, never made more than $72,000 in a year. It took him 26 years, I think, to make $72,000. And within the first 18 months to 2 years, he was earning over 6 figures with me. So that just goes to show you the power of what we're teaching and how it could change a person's life. Lake and Hibden is already at $53,000 this month in sales for me. And my goal is to get her to, 600,000 of commissionable income. And she's 26 years old. So what I teach works. Okay. And it will help you earn more income. And those are real numbers that people are making. Okay. What questions do you have? Manfred, I see your hand up. Is that you got a question for me?
No, I left it up. My fault. I forgot to take it in.
Raise the roof, man. Raise the roof up there with that hand. All right. What questions do you have? Christine, let me call on you. Let me unmute you here. All right. There you go.
So I'm going to try to say this in a concise way, but all right. So your 4 steps: the initiate, the phone call, disarm, listen, and offer solution.
Right.
All right. So for all of us on here, we're thinking right away, that's our health assessment call. Okay. When we get on the phone with them. So you gave a real good description of here's what it's done for me. Is that something that you'd be interested in? Then they say yes. So then we launch into our, what we've been told, our health assessment, share the 4 components, ask them all their questions to figure out what program they need. That's where we do that, in that offer the solution part. Or, because I'm a little confused, because your phone call is very nice. It's short, it's concise. But then once we get them there and they say yes, then it's like, okay, well, we got to go through these questions. We got to figure out what you need. And then I got to explain 4 components to you. Is that all the same call?
I don't think so. I think so. Think about when sometimes, our first thing is to it's like getting married on the first date. You know what I'm saying? It's like what we want to do on that first phone call is I want to go through those steps. I'm going to offer a compelling solution to you that you go, yes, I would be interested in that. Okay. I'm going to send you this, and then we're going to schedule a time, right? Pretty quickly the next couple of days to talk about this one important thing. I think that's a second phone call, because you don't want to overwhelm a person. I know, I want to eliminate the consideration of scarcity. Well, I got them on the phone, then let me unpack all this stuff to them. I think the first sale to be made is I've located a problem. Let me offer you a solution. Here's a few recommendations. Would this be something you'd be interested in? Yes. Okay, great. I want to schedule a quick call with you to go through. We're going to do a health assessment with you, and we're going to go through these 4 key components. Okay. And I'd like to do that pretty quick because I don't like to lose any momentum. Seems like this is something you really want to do. So let's go ahead and get you moving. And then I just get that ball rolling. Okay. Now let me put it into context. Last night I talked to a guy I've never talked to before. He messaged me on Facebook, like you guys get messages. Okay. I called him, initiated, picked up the phone and called him. Disarmed by building connection. We talked about New York City. He lives in New York. What's it like living in New York City right now? We talked about his family. We talked about what he's went through. Then I listened and said, it sounds like to me this is what you want to do, this thing. Yes, it is. Okay, great. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you a link that has this for you to review, right, over the next day. And then I'm going to follow up with you tomorrow. And we're going to schedule a call to see if this is something you want to do so we can take action. I'm going to try to keep that tight, but I'm not going to do it all in one phone call. This is the first time I've ever talked.
And what did you send him?
I sent him 2 links. I sent him a video overviewing the program. Okay. And that, in my world, I have a short video, like a 1-minute video explaining, like, this is what you're going to go through. Then I sent him what I call a one sheet, which that's a visual of what he's going to get. Okay. Then I sent him 2 links to my website to say, these are the program links. Okay. I sent it via text and via email. Now I'll go back to him today, Christine, and say, did you get everything you needed? Would you like to schedule a call so we can do this part? And then at that point, I plan on enrolling him. Like, I plan on taking his credit card information and getting him signed up and pushing him. Just remember this, to Christine's point. You never need to end a conversation without pushing people to something in the future. And what I mean by pushing people to something in the future is, I'll give you the information. I'm going to send you this. I'm going to follow up to make sure you got it. Then we're going to schedule a call. Like, keep them moving. It's called deal fatigue. Okay. Just keep them in a forward posture. Keep them in a forward position. Don't end the call and not have something in the future to push them to. And now listen, I'm going to be relentless. I'm going to go the 7 touches with this guy. He told me he was interested. I think he's a legitimate candidate. I think he's a good prospect. I think he can handle it financially. So he's got the time, he's got the interest, and he's got the money. And if he's got the time, the interest, and the money, then guess what? I'm going to hang in there with him until we get a deal. Now, if I send him a contract, Christine, in my world, I send contracts. Then I'm going to say, I just sent you the contract. Text me back to let me know you got it. Then if he doesn't sign it over the next 3 hours, I'm going to take and say, hey, is there anything in there that we need to discuss? You know, because I can't help you till you commit. Once you commit and sign that deal, we're going to get you started. And I like getting people started fast. Like, I keep with a little soft tension on him until he signs it, and then we got him up and got him going. And I would say that with OPTAVIA. You know, I've got a guy that every time I call him about OPTAVIA, is like, yeah, well, I got this coming up, and I got this coming up, and I know I'm going to eat bad here. And he just keeps delaying. And I called the other day and I said, man, I can't help you till you commit. Now, you've been telling me for 7 years that you want to get down to your ideal weight, and you haven't been able to do it. Now, do you want to do it, or do you not want to do it? Are you in or out? Right? Because if you're in, man, I can't get you started until you commit to this. But once you commit, right, you're gonna be in shape like Coach is in. Okay, I'm in the best shape of my life, and that's what you want, right? Yes, it is what I want. Okay, great. Let's go ahead and get you started right now. See, what I'm saying is, he wants to do it. He's just got all these excuses why he don't start. You guys deal with this every day. Now, he's going to lose 20 to 30 pounds. He's going to come back to me 6 months from today, and he's going to thank me. He'll say, man, I couldn't do it without you. Thank goodness you pushed me a little bit. Okay, that's a conviction I have. I'm not being aggressive with him. He told me he wanted to do it. Okay. Any other questions? Great question. Okay. I must have done it. I must have did a good job. You guys don't have any questions. Here's
I have one. Sorry, I'm the talker in the room. I have one more thing.
Okay.
So, and this isn't necessarily a question, but something I guess that stood out to me that you said. So you're talking about Doug, you know, being in touch with you for 2 years and all this stuff. And then I heard the key, and I wanted to make sure that other people heard this. There was a point in time where you said, man, I'm tired of being 191 pounds.
Yeah.
I don't want to be there. Okay. So I wanted to see if you could maybe touch on in those 2 years, because I think this is one of the, I forget the word you use, but like a lie you tell yourself. In those 2 years of talking to Doug, what was your reasoning for not doing the program, and what were you thinking? Like every time he was contacting you, because that's something I think that we struggle with is, what are they going to think? Do I seem salesy?
Yeah. I think the reason I didn't is because, you know, I mean, for the most part, I felt like I was in pretty good shape. I mean, I worked out every day with the trainer. I ate pretty good. It's just something clicked in me that I wanted to be in better shape. Okay. Now that's called a trigger event. You don't know when the trigger event's going to happen, which is why you got to constantly stay. We just signed a guy to our 25K coaching program last week. I called him 2 years ago. He was just starting his practice. He's a doctor. He said, I don't have the money right now, but I want to do something with you. He hit my website one day. I called him, went through my 4 steps, located a problem, offered him a solution. He committed to a $25,000 contract 2 years later after me talking to him. Now, I didn't know what was going to trigger that. My whole point is we need to, I call it banging on, touching, staying in their face, right? Doug would just send me messages. How's it going, coach? Is there anything I can do for you? I saw where you're doing this. I saw where you're doing this. Congratulations to you and Natalie. you know, then he would come down, we would do something together, but he never really hardcore pressed me. So I just want y'all to understand, he didn't like try to call me every week and try to sell me. He basically just stayed involved in my life till I come to the conclusion, I'm in. Sign me up for this. Let me give it a shot. Now, that's what I'm saying is you don't know when that moment's going to happen. So you can't control that. What you can control is how often you stay in touch with people, how you touch people, video, text message, voicemail, voice text. You know, that's why I'm saying I call it banging on people. You just kind of bang on them and you just stay right there with them. And then one day they go, hey, I'm in. Okay. We're seeing an interesting trend right now during this economy. We're seeing people that were in my coaching program years ago. I'm doing all these Facebook Lives now and more Instagram and more everything. We're seeing people come back. We're seeing people say, man, I want back in. I miss this. I need this. I need this structure. Okay. But what if I didn't push this stuff out? See, I'm stimulating. That's what you got to think. An object at rest stays at rest unless acted on by an outside force. You are the outside force. And if you believe in your product or service, you need to stay in people's lives. Okay. Good question. All right, Lori, go ahead. If you want to unmute yourself there. There you go. Unmute.
I've got a lot of clients that I call missing in action, MIAs. I'll text them. I'll send a Facebook Messenger. I've even emailed them, left voicemails, just saying, hey, kind of touch base, trying to see how you're doing stuff. And I just feel like they've totally blocked me. And, you know, I'll look and they're not even looking at my messages. They're not even, you know, and I know they still need this program.
Yeah, sure.
You know, and I go back to their health assessment and they had success, but for whatever reason, something's blocking them at this point in their life.
Yeah.
And just, those are the ones that I really struggle with. Like, I guess my personality is I don't just disconnect from people without telling them why.
Yeah.
And these people that are disconnecting from me without telling me why, it just drives me nuts.
Yeah. But that's your personality. Now, here's what I want to tell you. This is a great point. I'm glad you asked this. My wife asked me once, how do I handle, she started to do a little bit of coaching for a period, you know, when she wrote her book. And so women were coming to her. She was coaching those women and she would coach them and then they wouldn't do one thing she told them to do. Right. And she would come home to me and she'd say, oh my God, I've told these women what to do. They asked me, they're paying me to coach them. They won't do anything I'm telling them to do. And she's like, it's just so disappointing, Michael. And I said, it's disappointing when you're just helping a few people. Because here's my point. The only way to overcome disappointment is help so many people that when a few people let you down, it don't even bother you. See, I've studied human nature at a very high level. Human nature is to start, fall off the wagon, feel guilty. Okay. They could be embarrassed that they ain't on the program. They could be embarrassed that they don't want to talk to you. They may have something else going on in their life. My point is all you can control is your stimulus. All you can do is keep caring about them. All you can do is keep touching them. All you can do is say, hey, I noticed you haven't responded. Something may be going on. I'm here for you. I want you to be successful, but you can't take it personal. And when you start helping a lot of people, like I help thousands of people, there's people that just do crazy things. And you're like, what? Like I helped that person get out of bankruptcy, make $1 million, get their marriage back together. And then they don't even talk to me. You know, it's just crazy. And you'll never be able to make logic out of this, guys. It's never logical. It's illogical. Because in your world, all you're trying to do, Lori, is help them. Why in the world would you want my help? Well, I got all kinds of inside baseball going on, and I got this going on with my wife, and this going on with my kids, and man, I can't keep my head above water. Do you know that I've called on people for 2 years? They never even texted me back one time. I called on a guy for 10 straight years, and it took me 10 years, and in his 10th year, he finally said, I'm ready to go. And so I believe that you can control your stimulus, but you cannot control the response. All you can do is keep doing it and not worry about it. Right. And help more people. You help more people. A few people letting you down won't bother you. Okay. Anything else? I got time for one more for you. If anybody's got one, then I got to jump on another call.
I'll say this. I listen to your audiobook, Everybody Needs a Coach, while I'm running.
Yes.
And it's very motivational. I also have the hardcover, so just that, just an FYI.
Good.
But no, it's a great way to combine the two things. So a little bit of exercise and a bit of motivation. So if you haven't tried it, it's a great way to maximize time.
Absolutely. The audio books are good. Like I said, if you're serious, I mean, $49 a month, I think you need to really consider that, guys, because this wouldn't be a one-time thing. This would be an every week thing. every Monday. And if you miss the calls, we send you the replays. You get the replays of the calls, but that gives you access to the way I think and the way I pursue. And I think you guys are sitting on acres of diamonds here. I see OPTAVIA as a tremendous opportunity that I personally am taking advantage of. Y'all understand what I'm telling you? Okay. And I've never gotten involved in anything like this in my life. You know how many people have hit on me to get involved in things? And I've just said, nope, I'm not interested. Nope, not interested. I'm not taking anything off my coaching. This is my primary focus. So if I'm getting involved in it, there's something that I believe is here. And so I want you to understand you're sitting on something big. Every day, wake up and take advantage of it, guys. We got to increase. So have a great day. Email eric@coachburt.com or Lakin at Coach Burt if you want to take advantage, or if you want to talk about something else, I'd be happy to talk to you about anything you want to talk about. All right.
Coach, will we have access to the recording of this?
Yes, I'm glad you said that. We will send this recording back out to everybody. Okay, we will send it back out to everybody to watch it, rewatch it, or share it with your teams. Share it with as many people. Share it with as many people as you want to share it with. Okay.
I got to give my team kudos. I mean, a lot of you are here. I'm very impressed.
Yeah, me
That's
too.
right.
I'm really impressed with you guys. All right, have a great day. God bless
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.